Okay, I found washable white paint. First of all, I'm just gonna tell you guys. I thought, look at this. I'm trying to run this show on this crappy light. And I got a ring light, a more fancy ring light coming tomorrow. I was supposed to have a video stand coming today, and then I found out that it was delayed, which, whatever. So then I got this thing for my husband, and I got my iPad clamped up using this thing up above me. And you know what? We're gonna make it work. We are gonna make this thing work, and we're gonna have a beautiful painting at the end. So apologies that if the light changes as I work, just work with what you got. That's what we're gonna do here. So let me get started on my cardinal. I'm gonna find a nice little brush here. And I've never really painted in front of anybody. So whatever, that's what I love about doing this YouTube, is that, I'm just trying to do stuff without being so in my head. Like always worrying, what are people gonna think, What are people gonna say? Because who cares? Who really cares? I really enjoy something that my pastor said. He said, they don't get a vote. God gets a vote. My husband gets a vote. My kids, a little bit get a vote. But, y'all in YouTube land, I'm sorry, you don't get a vote, but I really appreciate you watching anyways. So yeah, and that's what I love about painting too, is that, you just kind of escape. You're focused on the right now and not the chatter, the chatter going on. I just love getting out of my head and just focusing on, oh, that line. Look at the shape of that line. So follow the line, and you don't have to be thinking about the chatter. No, I'm not following that line very well. So let's follow that line a little bit better here. I don't remember what they say about cardinals when you see, is it, it's going to be a good day? I'm not sure. I know that my mother-in-law likes to say if she sees a hummingbird that it's going to be a good day. But, I think we'll just say that cardinals mean it's going to be a good day too. So we're just painting, and I named my channel Fortuitous Folk Art because I really like that word, fortuitous. Okay. And it means, I think it means by chance. I think that's what it means. And folk art, well, I just love folk art. I feel like folk art is art for everyday folks, It's celebrating just the everyday. You can paint a coffee mug. You can paint a cardinal that you saw yesterday. You can paint a favorite flower. And it doesn't have to be so what's the word? So I don't know if this is the right word, pretentious. I'm not sure. But I really just love folk art because it's for everyday people. It's really finding the beauty in the, what did I say in my channel description? Explore the beauty of the ordinary everyday things, something like that. And when you do that, I just feel like then you see the blessings all around you that much more readily. So, you know, it's one thing to look at a cardinal, right? But to paint a cardinal, you're really focusing on the curves, the details that you wouldn't maybe not have focused on otherwise, I think. And I really hope that I have a good camera lens right now, or I should say like that you guys can see and hear what I'm saying right now. I'm just gonna pop up and see if this is in. Oh yeah, that's looking good. I mean, from a camera lens, you know. And who's gonna see this? That's the other thing I love about folk art. Who's gonna see this? This is for me. This is for my family. If it doesn't come out perfect, who cares? It's enjoying the process. It's enjoying being in the moment, reflecting. It's just, that's what it is. You know, it is, that saying is true. It's not the, what is it? It's not the destination, it's the journey. That's true of art too. You know, that's why I really just absolutely love, I'm gonna get some black here so that I can mark that line a little bit, so I don't lose that line of his wing. And you know, it is a he, right? Like if it's the colorful one, it's a he, right? My kids always ask, you know, why do the male birds have all the color? And I said that it's kind of like when you see the guys driving in their Mustangs, you know, the human guys, not the bird guys, the human guys driving in their Mustangs and, you know, trying to attract the ladies. It's kind of like that. But in the bird kingdom, the Mustang is their feathers and I guess their dance. I don't really know. Anyways, what was I talking about? Just enjoying the everyday, enjoying the moment. It's so enjoyable. It's enjoyable to enjoy the moment. So I'm just putting some darker colors in here to capture that shading. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. It's just for me, just for my family. Maybe I'll never do anything with this, but keep it in my little notebook. Maybe that's the furthest that I get with it. That's okay. You know, but sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves to create something quote unquote perfect, you know, even though we all know there's no such thing as perfect except Jesus. So I'm just gonna enjoy myself here, capture a little of this shading there. You know, and sometimes I wonder about the person who created this picture. You know, what were they looking at to inspire their painting? I mean, some people can maybe draw and paint from memory, but most of us are using something to look at, right? To paint or draw. And I'm always curious, you know, what do you call it? Generation of originality. Well, somebody started with the ultimate original, God's creation, to paint. Maybe in real life, maybe there was a bird sitting there quietly for enough time for an artist to paint that bird. Maybe it was a photo. You know, I really enjoyed visiting. I'm, you know, in Watertown, South Dakota. There is a famous, I guess was a famous artist named Terry Redlin. And he has a really great museum, I guess you would call it. And you know, they show you the life and inspiration and some of his life story that inspired him and his paintings. He painted a lot of rural South Dakota things like pheasants and farm equipment and all that kind of fun stuff. And one thing I really enjoyed seeing, and look at this. I mean, have you ever noticed that the beak of the cardinal is just as red as its body? I never noticed that. So anyways, but Terry Redlin, in his museum, you could see a library of photographs that he took. So he had hundreds of pheasant photos, maybe thousands, for how many pheasant paintings he's done. He had a gajillion. And that was so good to see as an amateur artist. I love to see that, oh yeah, these people don't just create this stuff out of thin air. They've got something, you know, they've got something to look at. And, you know, sometimes that's all you need is just like, oh, there isn't some magic secret, right, to how this stuff is done. It's just somebody sitting down and copying a photograph. Now, copying, you know, it's not like he traced it or anything, but it's still like, I thought that was really cool to see, you know? So, now we're doing this little band around his little face. I don't know if I'll come through and make it a little darker. It looks pretty black. Not too black, not perfectly black. So we're getting that here. He's got like a little bit of a cheek going on there. A little rounded cheek there, and then he's got his little chin that goes underneath. So that's looking pretty good. Get that little chin action going there. I really hope you guys can hear me. I don't have a good microphone right now, but I know that I'm gonna evolve my channel over time. And I was listening to, well, who was it? Oh, there's one, apologies that I don't remember his name, but Ali something. He lives in the UK. He was a doctor. He started a YouTube channel while he was a doctor. And, you know, at first he was doing, I need to make this a little brighter. He was doing music videos, I think. And now what he does is totally different from music videos. And I just thought, yeah, like, let me just get started with something. And my friend Emma really helped me to just, hey, just get started. So it's never going to be perfect. Just get something going. Do something that you enjoy. And you can always evolve it over time. And that's true of anything. You don't have to get stuck in a expectation of perfection. I really want to make that red pop a little bit under here, and something is just not cooking there. Something's just not cooking. Let me try make it a little bit orangey, maybe add a little bit of yellow. Let's see what that does. Make it pop a little bit more. Let's see what that does. I don't know, it looks a little bit poppy. That looks a little bit better poppy. So, and that's one of the things I just love about painting, is blending the colors. I really love it. It really takes me out of the moment, or what do you say? Keeps me in the moment, something like that. I think if I put a little bit of black around there, that'll help to pop it out a little bit. Let's do that. Get a little bit of black in there and really shape that edge there. That's good. So yeah, what else is going on? I was thinking for this channel, I was daydreaming about it a bit and just thinking, oh, what do I want to do? What do I want to say? I want to do this pretty frequently. And, there's just so many possibilities. So many things to do. So many things to say. I have so many interests. And honestly, when I first started the idea of a YouTube channel, I was doing gingerbread houses. And that, if my goal is to do weekly, that gets a little bit much. I was doing some pretty elaborate. I need to get this really winged out there. Really nice tip on that feather. Yeah, that looks good. And I did a Wicked. I'll show you guys sometime. Maybe I'll put those videos on here too. I really struggled getting some initial videos going with the gingerbread, just with tech issues and all that. But anyways, I made a Wicked themed video, gingerbread, and that was pretty cool actually. And then I made a roller coaster because my friend Jamie and I and our families went to amusement park, and actually it's in Okoboji, Iowa. It's called Arnold's Park. Really fun. And I did he's kind of got a little bit of not a frown going on, but just like got a little curve to that beak there. Let's look at that. Okay, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit more black. He's got that eye. I gotta twist that a little bit to get what I want. I'll put his eye right there, and then I'll put a little glimmer around that. Anyways, I made a roller coaster gingerbread, and the last thing I started to make was a lake house, because it was in July. It's August now, mid-August, but mid-July I got all my lake house pieces cut out, and I just lose interest a little bit in things. I like so many things. I'm gonna get a different paintbrush for that eye. I want to get that just right. So right now I still have all the pieces to my gingerbread lake house just sitting out. Here's a good one. Nice tip on there. And it's just sitting there. It's just sitting there. And I decided, no. I told Emma, I don't want to do gingerbread. And you know what? I'll come back to it, though. I will come back to it at some point. It's just a lot to do weekly. I work full time. And I just didn't want to do another gingerbread. What do you think of that eye? It could be better, but we'll just go with that. And I'll do a little bit of black around his eye to get some definition. So now I decided I need to do something. If I'm going to do this weekly, then I need to do something more manageable. That doesn't take, because the gingerbread are taking, gosh, what was it taking? At least 4 hours to assemble the darn thing. I gotta bring this down more for his beak. And that's, I got kids. I don't have a lot of time for all that. So I like to do this instead. A little bit of folk art. So yeah, and I was also thinking that I really like Bob Ross. So, maybe I can... I'm not as good as Bob Ross. But, maybe people want to hear me talk about this stuff. I just really enjoy it. It's very relaxing, to watch Bob Ross. And hopefully, maybe you'll be relaxed, to hear me talk. I have no idea. I hope so, though. All right, I think, there's a lot of little lines in here to define some of the wings. I feel like that needs a little bit of white, possibly, to do that. A little bit of pink, pinky pink. I don't know. Let's try it. A little bit of pinky pink. I don't really like the gray, get too much gray in there. Let's do some pinky to define some of the feather. Doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's gonna notice. Unless I stare at it, I guess. Alright, let's just do some of these feathery streaks in here. Okay. I like it. Alright. What do you think, Cardinal? I know. Your chest, it needs to be brighter. I know. What if I just pile on a bunch of red? Though it is, like I said, it's a little orangey. I'm gonna get some orangey going over here. I think you need a little bit of orange. Pop that color. Let's see if it'll do it. Because that definitely... Oh yeah, that's a little bit nicer. Just don't want it so dark right there. That's kind of where it's the brightest. That's where it's the brightest. Maybe I'll get some white in there. I think that will lighten it up. Let's see if that does it. It's a little bit nicer. It's really bright right here, right through here. You know who would notice is a female cardinal. They really are picky, I guess. I love to watch documentaries about these birds of paradise. You know, just love it. They really have to put on a show for these ladybirds. They are very particular. Well, I got some thick paper here, I guess, but it's starting to bubble up a little bit. But yeah, we got a lot of fun shades of red on our cardinal. I like it. Not perfect, but I think he looks pretty proud of that plumage there. That looks pretty good. Okay. I like it. And so, alright, I'm going to put a little bit more color on his wing there. It's not quite that dark, but you know, if I saw this cardinal, I would think it's pretty beautiful. What do you think? Okay. Okay. Let's see what time it is here. Oh, it's getting pretty late. My kids are going to have to go to bed here soon. And I'm going to say, what are you doing? I'm making my YouTubes, I told them. They're playing a video game right now. And, yeah. So, let's move on to our chicory. Well, I gotta draw a little perch here for him. So, we're gonna draw a perch for our cardinal. He's sitting on, well, is he sitting on a chicory? I was gonna kind of put the chicory all around. That would be kind of nice if he was perched on a chicory. They are sturdy enough, I think. They're pretty hardy in their stems. So let's do it. So I need to make some green. Let's make some green here. Maybe we'll get some of that green in there. Okay, I like to have a nice, it seemed like a nice darkish green. I don't know. It seemed a little bit dark. I'll put some more blue in there. Ooh, that's a nice green there. I like that green. What do you think, guys? Let's do it. We're just gonna go for it, folks. We're just gonna go for it. He's perched on this. He's committed to that perch. Oh, it picked up that red there. Whoopsies. My red is not quite dry. I'm gonna have to go thick with the green through there. Yes, all right. That's right. All right, there's his little perch. Let's just squeeze that out there. Get rid of some of that red. Okay, there's his little perch. We'll put his little claws on there in a bit here. Let's just focus on these branches here. Stems, I guess they're called. So we're gonna get our stems going here. And they're kind of just wild, I guess. They just kind of shoot out all over. This one he's bending down, right? Because he's bending it down. He's a big feller. Bigger. So he's bending it down. Well, how do these look? Let me see here. They're kind of just shooting off all over, aren't they? They're just kind of shooting off all over. And you know, they're just kind of shooting off all over, aren't they? We don't need to get it perfect. We don't have to get it perfect. We're just trying to capture the moment here. Get a nice little picture of our bird here. So that stem we're gonna say is going off, and he's just sitting down there. This one's going off. We're gonna get those beautiful, beautiful chicory flowers going here in a minute. And what kind of leaves? They kind of just have, like I said, they got all these little buds. They got all these little buds just all over. Just hundreds of buds just waiting to bloom for the next day. You think that the plant's gonna die, and nope. It's not. It's not. It's really beautiful. And a beautiful surprise every morning. And that thing lasted at least a couple of days. Well, I should say a week. Pretty good week. So we're putting these buds all around it. I think this needs another. There were so many stems. So many branches. What do you want to call it? And they were not that thick, but you get the idea. They're not that thick. But that's okay. You know, if this was something I was gonna, showcase in my house or something, I would spend a little bit more time on it. But, it's getting to be 9 o'clock at night, and I promised Emma I would post something, and by God, I'm gonna post something. And I'm really liking it. I'm really liking it. Okay. And that's about to scale. That's about how big that bird would look on a chicory plant. Those things get really big. And you know what? You know what they did? A couple of weeks after I plucked that guy, the chicory, they mowed him down. And I was all worried that I was going to get arrested or something for plucking that. And then what they do, they mowed it down. And I saw a couple of them are starting to come back, but man, pretty sad. Pretty sad. Let's try to get that beautiful blue. It's more blue than purple. Let's try to capture that beautiful blue. Teal is my favorite color. But gosh, it's more like it's like a purpley baby blue. Let's try to do it. Let's try to capture it. I don't know if I got the right. I don't know. Let's try it here, folks. That's a pretty purple. That's a definite good purple. Now we just need a nice kind of baby blue. Can we do it? Can we get a nice baby blue? Even lighter than that, I think. Oops, I got some orange in there. Oh, that looks pretty good. That's a pretty nice color. Let's try that. Okay. And these, I don't know if I got the right. Yeah, this will be all right. So they're just kind of an explosion of these beautiful blues. Just a beautiful blue flower. And they even had some purple. And they just kind of fan out. Just fan out like a sunburst. And they really do have like a fringe to the end. So I really should be going out with it because they got this beautiful little fringe on the end. And we'll come back and add some purple touches to it. And not all the flowers were bloomed. So let's make sure that we don't burst all of them, because that's just not how it works, folks. They just aren't all in bloom, and that's the beauty of it. So Let's get some purple going there. Yeah, these beautiful purples. Let's see. And I'm going to have to add some more blooms. I'm serious. Like, there's just like hundreds of blooms. I hope this captures the beauty of it. I know it's not perfect, but... And I need to maybe vary the size of it here, you know. Need to add some purple to these ones. There we go. That looks good. Oh yeah, that looks good. Really pretty colors. Just gorgeous. Oh, that makes me happy. Sunbursts. How do the little ends? Oh, I think we gotta put some buds on the ends of those. Let me get some buds on there. Maybe I need it. You know what? I'm gonna add more flowers because I'm just loving these colors. And then you know what? I'm gonna go back through and add some more buds. That's what I'm gonna do because you really gotta see it to believe it. There's just buds all over. Chicory. I wish I'd have got some sort of fun fact for y'all. Some sort of fun fact on what the chicory plant is good for. Because like I said, there's something medicinal, I guess. I always like to learn about plants and what their kind of hidden superpower is. They really do have a lot to offer. And probably we haven't even discovered it all yet. So that's pretty cool, I think. And you know, I'll probably, you know, talk to the camera at some point. You guys can see my face while I'm talking, I don't know. I'm just figuring this out as I go. And this is the only way that I could set up my iPad to get it captured. I don't know how long I've been recording, but yeah, there it is. Maybe I should have done a background or something, but I really like it. I really like it. Never, 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 never give up. You know, what does a cardinal sound like? It's like tweet, 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 tweet. Something like that. Isn't it? I better add some. I got a little bit of leaves around the buds too. And the flowers too. Maybe some little fringe part of the buds. Let's do that. Let's add a little bit of fringe there to each of the buds. But yeah, the cardinals, they sound like tweet, 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 something like that. Maybe when I hear that again next time, I'm gonna think, never, 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 never give up. Something like that. That sounds pretty good to me. All right, let's just add a little bit more here. I think that looks real good. I think that looks real good. We gotta add a little bit of claws for him there, I guess. Let's do a little bit of claws for him there. He's gotta be gripping on something. How does that look? Is it kind of like clawed around like that? Sorry, buddy. I didn't really do that very well. It's kind of like a brown, got a brown claw there. I got so much red. I gotta get some brown going here. That's a little bit better. Okay. Let's get your little claws on there, buddy. My sister has some, what are they called? Parakeets. And they're so cute, and their little claws are so tickly. They land right on you, and they're just so sweet, and they curl right around your little finger. And that's what our cardinal's doing there to the chicory plant. So there you go. There it is. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I really look forward to some more folk art painting, crafting, creating with you guys. So thanks again for watching. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.